Everything that rocks, Lazer 103.3, the one and only filter right there. And ladies and gentlemen, he is early. I didn't expect Richard Patrick until 3, but look at you, man, being all punctual. What's up with that?
You know what, sir? You guys are awesome, and I just want to be here, and you know what? I'm on time. I'm early. I'm the guy that like shows up at the party way too early. Like, hey, is the pizza ready?
Where is everybody? Too funny. Well, welcome back to Des Moines, first of all.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is awesome. It's great to be back.
Talking out loud a little while ago and trying to remember, and I think it was Laserfest version 2.0 with Stone Temple Pilots back in 08 that we had Filter in here last, and that was right around the time Anthems for the Damned came out.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we have a new album, The Trouble with Angels. Wow.
Brand new record, The Trouble with Angels, and this is actually, we're getting back to what we got famous for in the first place. It's like title of record and Short Bus and Amalgama rolled up into a new awesome burrito for everyone to eat in 2010.
And who doesn't love a good burrito?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you just heard Hey Man, Nice Shot, which was, of course, off of Short Bus, which is an amazing record. And I was telling you a little bit earlier, Richard, that I look at each Filter release as sort of a snapshot of a time and a place for you. And now that you've gotten to where you're at now, give me an idea of how The Trouble with Angels and the songs on this record came to be.
Well, my producer Bob Marlette said specifically, like, hey, I need you. I know you're doing well in your life, and I know you're like things, but we need to get back into that guy that like wrote Hey Man, Nice Shot. Like, what were you thinking? And I was like, I just saw some guy kill himself on, it was R. Bud Dwyer, and it kind of inspired this, like, who does that? You know what I mean? And so he said, well, what about like that girl, J.C. Dugard, that, was kidnapped for 18 years and like, and lived in a tent in some guy's house. And I'm just like, you're right. So I wrote a song called Catch a Falling Knife, which is about her situation of just being taken away. And then he's like, well, what about all your drug problems and all your, and like what? And so it reminded me of a time that the song Drug Boy, drugs kind of worked before they didn't. And like, I'd come home from a Nine Inch Nails tour and I'd be broke. And so I'd go live with my mom and dad, and like, there were friends of mine that had just kind of fallen through the cracks, and they were just like, the only entertainment they could have was to take like a $3 hit of some psilocybin drug or something like that, and to just go through the city of Cleveland and climb a smokestack, like jump over a fence and climb a smokestack and just sit at the top of an old abandoned electric factory or steel mill, which there are plenty of in Cleveland, and just sit there for 12 hours and talk and philosophize about, like, about the world and the universe and Cleveland and where we fit, and or go to a jail cell and an abandoned jail and go through the get into the office and like, read, the files that were still there, and just go through these like criminal files of like people that had killed 4 people on like April 4th, 1922, and just bizarre, and so. And I remember this one time we were in an old abandoned graveyard, and someone went into like a mausoleum and just palmed a skull and just took off, like, look at this, and just grabbed a skull and like, hey. And it's just like things that when you're 22, you don't think that, you know what I mean? Like when I was, had coming off of this big Nine Inch Nails tour, Lollapalooza, and we're young and we're crazy and we're taking over the world, and then kind of seeing yourself in a mausoleum, broke with nothing, and you're on drugs and you're looking at it. Just, he's like right about that. So that's kind of where I went with this record. I just wanted to kind of reflect on everything that goes on, and it seems like that connects more with the people that that are fans of this band, and it's awesome to, I can't even believe I'm allowed to do it. It's so fantastic. Yeah. I mean, like a song like Take a Picture, You know, like, I mean, I mooned a guy in first class, almost got arrested.
Jesus.
You know, you're like, Dad, what are you going to do with this? What do you think of your son now?
Yeah.
I'm a wreck. Can you take my picture? Because I can't remember. I'm blacking out all the time. I didn't even know what I was writing. And it was so obviously a huge cry for help on my problems. And like that song goes out and like is someone's like high school prom, you know, memory. So, you know what I mean? It's just like my life is so amazingly rewarding in that way. So I just try and keep it, you know, fresh and make sure the memories are, you know, there.
You're a very extroverted individual. And so writing songs that are extremely introverted is kind of strange. Normally somebody doesn't have the ability or the talent to be able to pull off both. In person, you're a really personable guy. And then you read these lyrics and you go, wow, what's going on in his head?
Yeah. There's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of issues. And, you know, I'm someone that struggles with, I can't understand religion. I can't wrap my head around it. I worry that maybe religion is kept us down to a certain degree, but at the same time, I mean, like I was in Iraq just a week ago, like a month ago, with his name was Major. It was Command Sergeant Major Coleman, and I sat in his office. And he briefed me on the entire Iraq war. And he sat there and showed me and I said, how much is religion playing in this? And he said, if they could just put their religion away and just focus on the normal, real problems, it would be such a better thing, because they're just using religion to like be insane. And they it's almost like a drug. And so, you know, I bring that up. And at the same time, you know, I have to just wear everything on my sleeve. I have to be publicly open about everything that's going on, because I think that people relate to that, and I think it's important for people to know that, like, you know, people see me on stage and they think, wow, it's a rock star and everything's great. It's important for them to know that, like, we're just as, you know, as frail, and life is just as tough for us, and let's all put on a guitar and rock and like enjoy it somehow. And so that's just, you know, that's just the way I deal.
The show tonight is at People's Court downtown, and it's a cool venue. If you've never, have you seen the room yet? You went in there?
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Very cool place up on the third floor of that building downtown. And tickets you can buy right at the door, and we hope to pack this place tonight. You've seen some really nice crowds on this tour, haven't you?
It's been amazing. I mean, the fans are coming in from all over, and it's just, you sit there and you sign autograph books. There was a girl that, you know, had like a whole booklet of just stuff and you know, all the way back to like 1995, and like, this is when I met you in 1995. I was 12. This is when I met you in, you know, 98. I was, you know, 16. This is when and it's just like sitting here and I'm like, wow, you are so dedicated and so awesome. So what we do is, instead of having everybody stand out by the bus who wants an autograph, we go right after we play, we go right out and sign everything that the fans want to sign. And it's been so awesome to meet all the kids and all the people. And some of them aren't kids anymore.
No, I know. Ones that got into you when they were younger, when Short Bus came out. When was that?
95 was, yeah.
Wow. I mean, even for me, that's we were talking about earlier.
It's wild.
95 just seems like yesterday sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was funny. My young band members, I have like a band member that's like 28.
Yeah.
And he saw a picture of me when I was 26, and he just went, oh my God. I'm like, dude, don't make me feel horrible. I just look like a little kid, you know, just like but it's funny. But yeah, these fans, I mean, you know, without them, like, we're nothing. And so we really spend a lot of time with them right after the show. And it's just awesome to meet everybody.
Filter frontman Richard Patrick is my special guest. Going to play a new track off of The Trouble with Angels. Tell me a little bit about No Love.
No Love. You want the real kind of skinny on it?
Yeah, give me the
skinny.
I'm
going to give it
to
you because I want to give it to you because this is the first time I'm ever going to actually talk about this. Trent Reznor. My nickname was Piggy.
Yep.
My nickname was Piggy in Nine Inch Nails, and I felt actually kind of honored that Trent would write Piggy, you know, about me, and I was like, wow, he's writing songs about me. That's pretty cool. So I actually I kind of wrote a little song about him a little bit. I kind of go back to 20 years, 20 years ago. The verses are kind of about, we were innocent kids, and some of the things that I kind of picked up from being around him was that, you can learn how to be evil if you're not careful. You can learn how to, he's not evil, but like we were just so unfamiliar with how to be in this industry, and it just, there's a right way, there's like a good way, and then there's like the bad way. And I actually kind of took some of that bad stuff and kind of, so I kind of wrote a little rebuttal 20 years later or 15 years later after he did it. So this is it's about a learned behavior of learning, how to be a bad guy sometimes.
The new album is The Trouble with Angels. It's available now. Richard Patrick from Filter, my special guest. And again, we look forward to tonight's show at People's Court downtown, man. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me. And this is going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time tonight.
Absolutely. Let's check it out. From the new album, Filter. This is No Love on Lazer 103.3.